The galactic arena was older than most civilizations. Its walls were built from black stone taken from dead planets. Above, floating platforms carried thousands of alien viewers. Different species sat together, watching, judging, and waiting to be entertained. Today's event was called the Combat Trial. For many species, it was a celebration. For humanity, it was a sentence. Humans were the newest members of the Galactic Coalition. They had arrived with hope, curiosity, and open hands. They were met with laughter. Humans were smaller than most warrior races. Their skin was soft. They had no natural armor, no claws, no fangs. The Coalition called them fragile. One by one, humans failed the early trials. Strength tests, endurance tests, technology displays. They were average, sometimes clever, never impressive. Now came the final trial. Combat. At the center of the arena, a single human stood alone. Her name was Lieutenant Mara Voss. She wore simple combat clothing, dark and plain. No power armor wrapped her body. No shield shimmered around her. In her hands, she held a long metal weapon. It was dull gray. No lights, no glowing runes, just shaped steel. The moment the weapon appeared on the arena scanners, confusion spread. Coalition analysts frowned. Weapon experts leaned closer to their screens. No energy core detected, one analyst said. No targeting system, said another. No plasma channel, no vibration field. A pause, then laughter. The laughter rolled through the arena like a wave. Commentators spoke openly, not caring that humans could hear. That is a primitive weapon, one said. Perhaps humans found it in a museum, another joked. A solid object? How inefficient, a third added. The audience joined in. Some aliens made mocking sounds. Others placed bets on how fast the human would fall. Mara heard none of it. She stood still, her eyes focused on the far end of the arena. A heavy gate began to rise. The ground shook. From the darkness stepped the challenger. A Craxian War Alpha. The creature was massive, over 8 feet tall. Its skin was covered in thick, overlapping plates. Her powerful arms ended in sharp claws. Scars crossed its body like markings of honor. This was not a soldier. This was a living weapon. The Craxian had defeated champions from 12 different species. It had never lost. The crowd roared in excitement. The Craxian lifted its head and released a deep, sharp sound. A sound that meant hunger. It looked at the human, then it laughed. A harsh, clicking noise echoed from its throat. The difference between them was clear. Strength, size, power. The Craxian held a plasma blade in one hand. The weapon hummed with energy, glowing blue and hot enough to melt armor. Compared to that, the human's metal spear looked useless. Coalition officials exchanged looks. This will be quick, one said. Humans should not have been allowed to reach this trial, another replied. High above, human observers watched in silence. They had argued against this trial. They had warned the Coalition. Humans were not made for spectacle combat. But the Coalition wanted proof. Or humiliation. Mara shifted her grip on the spear. The movement was small, controlled. Her face showed no fear. The Craxian took a step forward. Then it stopped. Its head tilted slightly. It sniffed the air. Something felt wrong. The Craxian's instincts, built over millions of years of hunting, reacted before thought. The human was not shaking, not backing away, not trying to look larger. She was calm, too calm. Her eyes followed every movement. Her body was balanced, ready. The Craxian felt a strange tension tighten in its chest. Danger. It pushed the feeling away. This was a human. Soft, weak, easy prey. The crowd continued to laugh. Look at her stance, a commentator mocked. She holds the weapon like an animal hunter. How outdated. Mara lowered herself slightly. Her knees bent. Her breathing slowed. This was not training. This was memory. Her ancestors had hunted beasts larger than themselves. They had faced teeth and claws with nothing but sharp tools and teamwork. Technology had changed. Instinct had not. The Craxian growled and raised its plasma blade. The heat from the weapon distorted the air. Mara did not step back. She took one slow step forward. The laughter softened. Some viewers noticed the Craxian's hesitation. Predator species in the audience leaned closer. They had seen this before. Not often, but enough to recognize it. The moment when prey did not act like prey. The arena lights dimmed slightly. A signal tone echoed across the field. The combat was about to begin. Mara tightened her grip on the spear. Not as a soldier, not as a performer, but as a hunter facing another hunter. Above them all, unseen by most, one truth waited to be revealed. Humanity had not survived by being the strongest. They survived by learning how to kill things stronger than them. And the galaxy was about to remember that lesson. The signal sound echoed across the arena. The Craxian moved first. Its massive legs pushed against the ground, and its body shot forward like a living missile. Each step cracked the stone floor. The crowd cheered loudly. This was the violence they had come to see. Mara did not run. She did not raise the spear to block. She waited. The Craxian swung its plasma blade in a wide arc. Blue light cut through the air, hot enough to burn bone. Mara stepped to the side. Not fast, not slow, just enough. The blade passed where her head had been. The heat washed over her face, but she did not react. The Craxian twisted and struck again with another arm. Mara ducked under the strike. She moved close. Too close. The Craxian did not expect that. Most enemies try to keep distance from its blade. Mara closed it. She drove the metal spear forward. The tip struck the Craxian's chest plate. The spear did not break, but it did not pierce either. The Craxian laughed again and shoved her away with raw strength. Mara rolled across the ground and came back to her feet. The commentators laughed. See, one shouted, "Primitive weapons cannot defeat natural armor." But the Craxian was no longer laughing. It had felt the strike. Not pain. Pressure. The human had aimed carefully. Too carefully. The Craxian attacked again, faster now. It used all four arms. Plasma blade above. Claws below. The arena filled with flashes of blue and the sound of tearing stone. Mara moved like water. She bent, turned, slid past strikes by inches. Each movement was small, efficient, no wasted energy. The crowd's cheers slowly faded. Something about the fight felt wrong. The human was not trying to overpower the Craxian. She was studying it, watching how it stepped, how it turned, which arm moved first. Predators in the audience leaned forward. This was not a duel. This was a hunt. The Craxian roared in frustration and charged again. Mara planted one foot and stopped moving. For a moment, she looked weak. Open. The Craxian took the chance. It leaped forward, plasma blade raised high, ready to strike down. At the last second, Mara stepped inside the attack. She twisted her body and drove the spear sideways. The metal tip slid into a narrow gap beneath the Craxian's arm. The roar turned into a scream. Dark blood spilled onto the stone. The crowd gasped. The Craxian stumbled back, clutching its wounded side. Coalition scanners flashed warnings. Armor breach detected, an analyst whispered. But how did she know? Mara pulled the spear free. She did not celebrate. She adjusted her stance. The Craxian's breathing changed. Fast, heavy. Pain made it angry, but pain also made it afraid. It had faced plasma weapons, energy rifles, and explosive rounds. None of them had made it feel this vulnerable. This weapon was silent, cold, personal. The Craxian circled Mara slowly. Its predator instincts screamed now. This human was not prey. This human was dangerous. The Craxian tried to adapt. It stopped charging blindly. It used feints and quick strikes. Mara answered each one with movement. She struck when the Craxian overreached. A slash to the leg joint. A thrust behind the knee. The metal spear found every weak place. Blood marked the ground like a trail. The crowd was silent now. No laughter. No cheers. Only shock. Commentators struggled to explain. That weapon should not work, one said. There is no advanced technology, another added. A predator elder from a distant species spoke quietly. She fights like our ancestors, it said, when survival was all that mattered. The Craxian roared again, but the sound lacked confidence. It lunged in desperation. Mara stepped aside and hooked the spear behind its leg. The massive creature fell hard. Stone shattered beneath its weight. The Craxian tried to rise. Mara was already moving. She placed one foot on its chest. The spear rested against its throat. Not piercing. Waiting. The Craxian froze. It looked up at her. In that moment, it understood. This human could kill it. Not by power. By precision. The arena held its breath. Coalition leaders exchanged uneasy looks. This was not supposed to happen. Humans were meant to fail. Mara did not strike yet. She watched the Craxian's eyes. Predators knew when they were beaten. The Craxian slowly lowered its head. Submission. Gasps spread through the crowd. A war alpha had never surrendered. Mara stepped back. She did not kill it. She let it live. That choice confused the galaxy even more. As the signal ended the match, fear spread faster than sound. If humans could do this with steel and instinct, what would happen if they truly decided to fight? And somewhere deep in the minds of every watching predator, one thought echoed. Humanity was never weak. They were simply holding back. The arena remained silent long after the match ended. No cheers. No victory music. Only the sound of the Craxian war alpha breathing heavily on the stone floor. Mara Voss stepped away and lowered her spear. She did not raise it in triumph. She did not look at the crowd. To her, the fight was already over. Medical drones rushed onto the field, surrounding the wounded Craxian. They worked quickly, sealing wounds and stopping the bleeding. The Craxian did not resist. Its eyes followed the human. Fear lived there now. Not fear of pain. Fear of understanding. High above, the Galactic Council gathered in urgent discussion. They had expected blood and proof of human weakness. Instead, they had seen something worse. Control. One council member spoke first. This changes nothing, it said, trying to sound confident. Humans still lack advanced biological weapons. Another answered quietly. They do not need them. Screens replayed the fight again and again. Each strike, each step. The council saw the truth. The human had not used strength. She had used knowledge. The Craxian was helped to its feet. Before leaving the arena, it stopped. Slowly, it turned toward Mara. Then it bowed its massive head. A gesture older than language. The crowd gasped. Predator species across the stands reacted instantly. They understood. A warrior had recognized a superior hunter. Mara stood still and returned a short nod. Respect, not dominance. The bow was broadcast across the galaxy. On distant worlds, military leaders paused their work. Hunters lifted their heads. Old instincts stirred. The combat trial was officially ended. No second match was scheduled. For the first time in Coalition history, the trial ended early. Humans were escorted into the central chamber. Mara walked beside other human representatives. Scientists, diplomats, soldiers. They looked small among the towering aliens. But no one laughed now. The council chamber was wide and cold. Light floated like mist above the floor. The lead counselor spoke. Lieutenant Mara Voss, it said, you have demonstrated unexpected capability. Mara said nothing. She stood straight, hands relaxed. You used a weapon classified as primitive, the counselor continued. Explain how it defeated a war alpha. Mara looked around the chamber. Every eye was on her. She spoke calmly. The weapon did not defeat it, she said. I did. A murmur spread through the chamber. Our species hunted large predators long before advanced tools, she continued. We learned where to strike, when to wait, when not to attack. She rested the spear against the floor. Technology changes, she said. Instinct does not. A council member leaned forward. Are all humans trained like this? It asked. Mara shook her head. No, she replied. I'm not special. That answer caused more fear than pride. If you are not special, another counselor said slowly, then what does that say about your species? Mara met its gaze. It says we adapt, she said. We survive. The council fell silent. They understood now. Human strength was not built into muscle or armor. It was built into learning. Failure. Memory. The council voted immediately. Humanity was granted full coalition status. Not probation. Not observation. Equal status. But something else changed. Human military observers were suddenly invited to closed meetings. Human survival manuals were requested by predator species. Even the Craxians sent a message. It was short, respectful. It asked one question: how do humans train their hunters? Mara returned to the arena once more before leaving the station. The blood had been cleaned. The stone was smooth again. She placed the spear against the ground. This weapon had no power, no energy, but it carried history. Human history. Above her, the galaxy watched differently now. Humans were no longer seen as weak. They were seen as dangerous. Not because they sought war, but because if war came, they would endure it. As the station drifted through space, one truth spread faster than fear. Humans did not dominate the galaxy by force. They did it by understanding how to survive when everything else failed. And deep inside every predator species, a warning settled into instinct. Never laugh at a human with a simple weapon. It means they already know how to kill you.